many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman who keeps beauty down, smacked on the ass when they're squalling and wet. Heir to a spineless man who never forgets, never forgets that he's a prisoner. Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows, to listen to me. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs, yeah.
Welcome back. Sundiata Acoli was a member of the Black Panther Party. He's now an 84-year-old political prisoner who has been behind bars, caged for almost 50 years. But the fight to release him is not over. On May 2nd, 1973, Acoli was stopped on the New Jersey Turnpike along with Black Liberation Army members Assata and Zaid Shakur. After an altercation, State Trooper Warner Forster and Zaid Shakur were both killed. Sundiata Acoli and Assata Shakur were then sentenced to life in prison with first-degree murder charges. Acoli has been eligible for parole since 1993, but for the last 30 years, all of his parole requests have been denied for reasons such as lack of remorse or insufficient counseling, in spite of the fact that he has a perfect disciplinary record. Joining me now to discuss this and what can be done is Sophia Elijah. She's an attorney and advocate for the release of Sundiata Acoli, and Reverend Lukata Njumbe, pastor at the Witherspoon Street Presbyterian Church. Thank you both for joining me. Sophia, I'm going to start with you. The most urgent question for me, first of all, is how is Sundiata Acoli doing? What's his current status, health-wise?
Sundiata is a COVID survivor. Last year, he was hospitalized for COVID-19. He lost 30 pounds during that bout, and he suffers with post-COVID symptoms. He also is being treated for early stages of dementia, emphysema, glaucoma, and at 84, he's slowing down. There's no other way to describe it. He's slowing down. And everybody knows that medical care inside prisons is less than adequate. And so he's also bearing the consequences of that.
Lukata, since 1992, he has been eligible for parole. We're talking about literally 30 years of parole denials. How does this happen? Why is this happening?
Well, when we understand what's happening here in New Jersey, and we understand what happens with those who are identified as political prisoners throughout this country, this is not about justice. This is not about fairness. This is not about even following the processes that are set in place for everyone else. This is anger. This is political vengeance. And this is now abuse of a senior citizen. So we continue to fight. We continue to make appeals. We continue to reach out to the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy. We have a petition with almost 10,000 signatures now, calling on the governor and all of those who are able to make a change to bring Sundiata home. 27 years without a disciplinary infraction, someone who is teaching classes on how to be a good prisoner. He's met every single solitary condition for parole in the state of New Jersey. However, he has not met the standard that satisfies those who are more interested in political repression and vengeance than in justice and in fairness and healing and moving forward.
Sophia, that's an important point. I mean, they literally have him teaching a course for young people and for other incarcerated people on how to not go back to prison. He's teaching an anti-recidivism course. That means they're saying that he is a model enough prisoner and a model enough person that he can help other people not do anything wrong in prison and to stop them from doing something wrong when they get out. How can they justify putting him in charge of that at the same time that they're saying he doesn't have the qualifications to leave prison on parole?
So I'm glad you asked that question, Mark, but what we have to understand is they're not worried about justifying it. Sundiata was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, if released on parole, and he's met all of those conditions. However, the parole board has decided they're going to convert his sentence into a death sentence. Just recently, he was denied parole again and given a 5-year hit. At 84 years old, that only sends one message. They are hoping that he dies in prison. And it's up to us to do everything within our power to make sure that doesn't happen and that we bring him home as soon as possible to the family that's waiting to take care of him.
What can we do?
We don't have the death penalty in the state of New Jersey. It's death penalty on layaway. 48 years in prison for an 84-year-old man with no chance of committing new crimes. Mark, Sundiata was in prison before you were born, before I had started preschool, and he's still in prison today. It's not about law. It's not about fairness. It's about us being silent. And if we continue to remain silent, if we continue to allow him to remain in prison, he will die in prison. He will die in prison if we don't speak up and bring him home.
Let's take a step back just for a second because I'm looking at the state of New Jersey, and they're only, from what my research, they're only giving 1 out of 10 applicants parole. So it seems to me that if you're in New Jersey, parole is just a technicality. You really are getting a life sentence. Is this specific to New Jersey, or is this a bigger national problem that we need to be thinking about?
Well, parole
Sophia,
reform
maybe you can
is an
take that.
issue that, I'm sorry, Mark. I was going to say parole reform is an issue that's been taken up in many states. Um, for us right now, our focus is on trying to get this one senior citizen out of prison as quickly as possible. While at the same time, certainly we're concerned about the plight of people aging in prison in New Jersey and across our nation. But if we don't do something immediately about Sundiata Acoli, one of our freedom fighters, one of our heroes, someone who's long since deserved to be released, he won't be released. And so that's why we're calling on people to sign this petition. Go to the website at sundiataacolifc.org, sign the petition, spread the word, and ask everyone to support this effort to get him out.
Absolutely.
Lukata, this is not just the case of someone who's been incarcerated for a long time for a crime that the state deems heinous. This is about being a political prisoner. I mean, when we look at the context of his incarceration, the context of Jalil Muntaqim, right, the context of Sekou Odinga, and we could go on and on and on. Just if we just look at former members of the Black Panther Party in particular, they got extraordinarily long sentences. Then on top of that, they're routinely denied parole for those sentences, and sometimes they even say it's the heinousness of the crime that is the justification for denying someone parole. So if you give me a sentence with parole, my crime doesn't change. My charges don't change. My conviction doesn't change. So there's nothing I can do to change what I've allegedly done, if I even did it. And many of these people were railroaded. We know that. But my point is, you can't use the crime as evidence of why I don't get parole, because if that's the case, then you were never giving me parole in the first place. If my disciplinary record doesn't fix it, the fact that I'm no longer a threat to society doesn't fix it, if the fact that I'm aging and maybe even dying in some of the cases we've seen doesn't fix it, what are we going to do? I mean, in the case of Jalil Muntaqim, it took him 50 years to get out. You know, talk to me just about the political dimension of this and how this is effectively, in my estimation, a punishment for political prisoners.
I remember when I was in college and Nelson Mandela was released from prison in South Africa after 27 years. And I couldn't believe that someone would be in prison for 27 years. I could not have imagined that 48 years after Sundiata was put in prison, that he would still be there. But if we're looking for a fair, logic, reasonable answer that answers for why men and women like Mumia Abu Jamal or like Sundiata Acoli or so many others throughout the history of the struggle for civil rights and human rights and liberation in this country are in prison, we won't find it. The reality is it's vengeance. The reality is it's a death penalty on layaway. The reality is that yes, every legal requirement has been met. And the courts have even acknowledged that in the past. Yet we continue to have to fight a political fight. And what we're trying to do is to help people to understand is that this political fight is now something that even those who do not have left of center political politics, they can understand. I have elderly people in my church that are asking me, wait a minute, an 84-year-old grandfather is still in prison after 48 years, 27 years of without any infractions. He's teaching a class. What is wrong here? Well, we do have an answer, and the answer is that we have vengeance, we have politics that are in place of justice, and it is so important, as Sophia mentioned, that we come together, that we speak to Governor Phil Murphy. The governor is up for the primary in New Jersey this month, in the month of June. And he's asking for people to give support, and we have to state very clearly that it is unacceptable. It is morally, politically, legally unacceptable for our senior citizens to be dying in prison because they stood up and spoke out for freedom and for justice. I don't argue anymore about what happened in 1973. Because for whatever it is that happened, Sundiata Acoli has served every single day, month, year in full. And now it is time for us to
Absolutely.
bring Sundiata home. So thank you, Mark, for giving us the opportunity to share this and to communicate to your listeners the importance that we speak up. Because Sundiata said to me a long time ago, he said, the state doesn't decide when political prisoners come home. The people do. And we have to make that decision that it's time to bring Sundiata home.
That organized people defeat organized power every single time. We're going to free every single political prisoner. And as long as there's a show here, there'll be a space to talk about it. Thank you both for joining me, and send my love and solidarity with Sundiata for me, please. Every
Greetings, peace.
Peace.
I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with my brother
Abdul Haq Islam.
Welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition podcast. We are at the studio of our podcast in Brooklyn, New York, and we're just happy to see everybody again. For those who are viewing for the first time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel entitled N.E.P.P.C. Get the latest information on political prisoners, find out what you can do, get involved. That segment was very important, and we salute BNC for having the courage to talk about political prisoners. I thought Lamar Hill did an excellent job, and we gave it to you in its entirety because something was very important that was said. Sundiata said himself that it's up to the people to free political prisoners, not the state. In fact, the state is supposed to answer to political prisoners. But today's discussion, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have our brother come on. He's going to speak about Joy Powell. So as I get the brother on, you could talk to the viewers for a second, brother.
Yeah, peace, brothers and sisters.
Here our brother is right now.
He's coming on now, right on.
Peace, my brother. How you doing?
All right, peace, family. I'm doing okay. How y'all doing?
We doing good, man. Good to see you, brother.
All right, same here. I guess you want me to get right off into this. First of all, I appreciate you brothers having this platform so we can, bring as much attention to this situation as possible. And you are, definitely correct. It is a responsibility of the people to free our political prisoners. We can't, or the government to do that for us, because in most cases they railroaded them to put them there because they've done something that the state doesn't agree with in regards to responding to the issues that the state refused to address in the first place. So, in regards to Joy Powell, we did a campaign because they were going through some issues with the water at the facility where she's at, which is Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in the state of New York. And the water was so tainted, according to the sister, and filled with oil and these other, components that it was undrinkable. But they were trying to force the individuals at this woman's facility to drink the water anyway. So, with the help of the people, we pushed, and they ended up changing their source of water that was received in the prison, and it took it a while for the water to change in color and transparency and taste and all of that. But it's still not like it's supposed to be. And then the other thing is, they're forcing those individuals to have to take cold showers and all of that. So what that comes back to for us is that although we appreciate everybody stepping up to the plate and answering that call, it's going to take more. And this is happening across the country, especially with our political prisoners. Rosa Parks indicated along with Sophia Bakari, when they both were, really pushing on the political prisoner campaign. They made it clear to prison officials that I'm here to watch you and make sure you treat my people right. And we're gonna have to take that same outlook. These people believe that they can get away and do anything they want to do out of sight, out of mind. We got to change that dynamic. We got to put pressure not only on prison officials who believe that they can get away with whatever they can get away with because they have no accountability. We got to put it on the government. We got to put it on these officials in these capitals, these politicians. And only to do that, we got the power, but it's up to us. How much do we care? Because they are doing some horrific things to these individuals behind this concrete and steel. So, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'd like to share Joy Powell's information. She is at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. The name is Joy Powell. Her ID number is 07G as in go 0632. The address is 247 Harris Road. That's in Bedford Hills, New York. The zip code is 10507. And you can also contact her through email messaging on jpay.com. And if you brothers got any questions or anything that I didn't contribute, you let me know and I'll see if I can answer.
Yeah, because right now we giving the people the information, right? We put the mail information. We also put the website as you were talking, and as we talking, it's scrolling on the screen. So we just ask the people who are viewing this to
I
please
didn't hear
share
you,
it.
brother.
Oh, we're as you're talking, you hear me now, brother? You hear me?
Brother Frank,
Yes, you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. What about now? You hear me? All right, brother. All right, brother. I'm gonna try to bring you back in because we're having some technical difficulties. But for those who are viewing, the information that the brother provided is scrolling on the screen. Also, her information to mail her some information, to write and learn more about her information. So, brother, because we have some technical difficulties, we'll just proceed with the information and talk to you soon. So, continue to do the work, stay focused, and stay involved. All right? Peace. So, Hawk, it's on you, my brother.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, this is that's a horrible situation, brother. I mean, that's the behavior of some subhumans to give people filthy water like that with all type of the worst contents. I mean, the same people, who are destroying the whole environment of the earth, who are destroying the earth. You know, that's a horrible situation. I mean, people need to stand up against these beasts. I remember when you were talking about Joy Powell had a legal issue about wearing her headscarf. You know, so I suggested that she get a lawyer and to file a lawsuit about that. It's kind of significant that right now um, the issue of the headscarf can become very significant in light of all these atrocities that have been perpetrated against women. You know, uh, just this week, R. Kelly was convicted of crimes, racketeering against females, and this could only happen to females that didn't have the power within them, you understand, to, put individuals like this off. So this is what that headscarf represents. It represents a method, you understand, by which females can have the moral power not to become victims to people like R. Kelly and other ones who recently, I can't remember their names right now, who recently, have been convicted of crimes against women. You understand? So sisters need to organize, to give females in this country that moral power not to become victimized. These people, they know, that's why they came at Joy Powell. They know the uh, the power of the hijab. The French during the Battle of Algiers feared the niqabs the women were wearing more than they feared the bullets the men were firing, because they knew that when they have moral women like that, you understand, that the men would be like steel, would be like iron on the inside, and they could not oppress them, like they oppress men who become weak and immoral, in a society, in a context of immorality and slavery to lower desires, So we need to continue to fight for Joy Powell. She's putting up a great battle, and and surely we will win. We got to respect this sister and understand her role and her ability and significance to the movement. Now, they were just talking a few minutes about Sundiata's situation and political prisoners in general, and that the sentences given to political prisoners are political. You understand? The politics involved in the incarceration of political prisoners is that political prisoners stood up and resisted, the most inhumane system in the history of the world, the most atrocious behavior, you understand, cruelest, most violent oppression of a people. And in spite of all this human, criminality, inhuman criminality, the political prisoners stood up through the storm. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason for the violence, the dehumanization, the disrespect, the putting down, to the idea that one group of people is superior than another, and lying to say that God made it that way, that God is down and dirty with all their crimes, all these type of things, a system, you understand, with these characteristics, we have those who stand up, you understand, like giants, totally fearless, totally principled, that goes against the politics of those who reap tremendous trillions and trillions, hundreds of trillions of dollars, through criminality, oppression, fear, terrorism. Their gig is to produce a nation of mice, of scared little quiet mice that run. If you flinch at them, they run. They won't fight back. They want us all to be like that, So the politics is very, very aggravating to them, of people, who resist this, who inspire other people to resist. You understand? Our political prisoners are very, very inspirational. I made some notes when some brothers and sisters had a broadcast last week about political prisoners. Brother Sekou Dequit Brother Jihad, Raza Khan, and some of the points that came out. Sekou, the general, he came out. He said, "What's up, man? The people do not support political prisoners because people are scared." You understand? So we are saying, to stand up, be bold and audacious. Mao Zedong said, "Be bold and audacious." Our political prisoners was bold and audacious. Sekou was bold and audacious. Sister Dakwi said that they criminalize us. So think of the crazy, the insane, the insanity of a mass criminal telling us what is criminal. To define for us the reality of what crime is. We've been indoctrinated. Uh, Brother Jihad talked about the indoctrination. You understand? This is one of the things that keeps people from standing up, and supporting those who gave the greatest gifts of love to the people. You understand? And defending the people, from the worst beast that has ever existed on the face of this earth. A beast that calls himself human, but which is self-human. So which is subhuman. Okay, so we talk about indoctrination. With indoctrination, it is like the enemy has used your brain for a toilet stool. You understand? Has poured all type of filthy lies and falsehood into your brain, into your being. You understand what I'm saying? And through understanding the real history, you understand, to having reality as a sword. You understand? We can fight the beast all over the world. One of their main strategies is to make us believe that they are moral, that they are human, that they believe in justice. That they have our rights in mind. They always talk about these things. But if we study the history, we'll see that at the times when they spoke and screamed the loudest about how humane they were, about how much they believed in justice, and how much they believe in being right by the people, at the very times they screamed these lies the loudest was the times that they committed the worst atrocities, you understand, in the history of the world, like the murder of 100 million so-called Indians in the United States. You understand? The kidnapping of 140 million Africans from this country, and the many, many murders and atrocities, the most heinous tortures you can imagine in America, on American soil. You understand? These people, they've come up with some diabolical, horrible tortures, but it was exactly at the time when they screamed the loudest about all this falsehood, this fairy tale. You understand? It was exactly at these times that they committed the worst acts. You understand? So when political prisoners, bring forth the clarity and the reality, and truly define the reality and stand out as golden examples of humanity, an aspect of our humanity is to stand up for justice, to stand up for our rights. You understand? So this is what our political prisoners are.
Yes, brother. You was finished, brother?
No, go ahead, bro.
Okay, brother. I just wanted, you was on fire as always, and your fiery words is much appreciated, is much necessary, because as we go into the new time of the season, right? It's starting to get colder, right? We got to put on our scullies, we got to strap up our boots, we got to lace up our boots, and we got to get busy, because the only way our political prisoners is gonna come home is by organized, determined effort of people. One of the things that I'm thinking about that people need to do is they need to make the discussion on political prisoners as common as what you deciding to eat today, right? You think about that every day, right? We got to think about our political prisoners just like that. If you're a parent such as myself, you're preparing your child to go to school, right? Early in the school year, we got to say, before Kwanzaa comes, before Black History Month, we got to prepare ourselves to let the school know, listen, we want political prisoners to be talked about. We want whatever political prisoners are still alive to be able and home. We want them to come to the schools and talk. We gotta force that. If we're at family gatherings, we got to talk about political prisoners. Wherever we're at, we have to talk about political prisoners, because you know what I think the problem is? The conversation on political prisoners is too inconsistent, right? We talk about anything else
So I was
going
talking
on,
about, right.
right?
So I was
What
talking
political
about.
prisoners, but what about political prisoners, right? We don't talk about them enough, and I think that that's the problem. In order for us to really put this forward strong and hard, we're going to have to get busy. We
Yeah, well,
have
that's what.
upcoming tribunal coming up. That's going
Right.
to be very important that people register for that. And tomorrow there's going to be a webinar on Sundiata Acoli. So go to the website on Sundiata Acoli and find out about registering for that. Get involved, because if we don't free our political prisoners, then we are co-signing what the state, what the oppressor has done for those who are fighting for our liberation and incarcerating them and said that they're terrorists and they're not political prisoners. So if we don't unite with that, we got to do something about that. And I just needed to say that because I'm suppressing that feeling, and that feeling needs to be out so we can talk about that and we can inspire people to get involved. Like we said earlier, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do so. It's the N.E.P.P.C channel. That's the title of it, N.E.P.P.C. Check out the channel, subscribe, share it. We got to get those subscription ups, because once we do that, then we can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to what you were saying, brother.
Yeah. You hit on the point about the people, are rising up, and only the people can free our political prisoners. Which brings to mind something that Chairman Fred said. Chairman Fred said that that the people have power. Chairman Fred inspired the people. You understand, and put power in the people by making them realize, making them feel their black power. You understand what I'm saying? So, in consequence, the enemy, had to assassinate Chairman Fred. So this is all political. You understand what I'm saying? Understand the political aspect of why they incarcerate our political prisoners and don't want them to come home, in spite of perfect perfect conduct record and the achievements that they have made inside. You understand? Uplifting other people. You understand? Changing their lives. You understand? While incarcerated. And still they don't want to let our brothers and sisters free. And I want to say something else about what Brother Jihad said on the program last week. He said that under the topic of indoctrination, that many of our people feel that this issue of political prisoners and this fight for our human rights, that it's a thing of a past, like it's something that comes in and goes out of style, of fashion, like a pair of pants you wear, or like a jacket or something you wear. Like it's out of style now. So how is your dignity, your rights, your freedom, you understand, your manhood, you understand, the power of our people, black power, the power to determine your own life, to be independent, to think independent, you understand, to enjoy the fruits of what's inside of you. You understand, being expressed in the world. You understand. Well, how does these things go out of style? You understand, like the hat you wear on your head. Indeed, this is indoctrination. He also said that they want us to forget. One of the lines that you hear from the enemy is to forget about that. You can't dwell in that. You're wallowing in victimization. You understand? But other people, for example, the Jews, they get political power by never forgetting. So we can't never forget. We got to always remember this history. You understand? To keep our people enraged, to keep that fire, that lightning, that thunder and lightning inside our people. You understand? That energy that creates work. You understand? You
got to keep pushing, brother. I want to
keep on pushing.
I want to pardon the interruption, but one of our viewers had raised a question, and I think that this is a question that's common to many people, because when we were in the streets in Queensbridge, I think that was something that common people struggle to understand. The viewer says by the name of Dennis Boatwait, right? I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but he said, "What is a political prisoner?" Right. So let's talk about that for a second. I think that this question has a simple definition, right? In my own words, I would say is a prisoner who prior to their incarceration were involved in work that was going progressive work that was going to move oppressed people forward, right? The Jericho movement put out this definition, and I think that this definition should be respected. I think that it says everything that I'm saying and more. It says, what is a political prisoner? A political prisoner is a person held in confinement because of their support of or identity with a people struggling for freedom from an oppressive government or against its oppressive policies. So I think that definition right there can help anybody who's unclear about what a political prisoner is, so that you can go home and discuss that with your family. Because
just briefly.
Yes, brother.
In that, you said that the struggle against the politics. Listen, we got to understand that in that context, political economy, you understand, that it's the political oppression, you understand, for the armed robbery, mass murder, genocide, infanticide, you understand, for the purpose, you understand, of stealing wealth. So it's political economy. Keep that in mind. Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
Okay, so yes, I just was trying my best to just give that definition that anybody can comprehend, because it's very important to keep things as simple as possible. Like Malcolm said, make it plain. When people are going to school or just anywhere amongst family, having a family get together, they can have these discussions and everybody can understand. Everybody can be on the same page. That's very important when you talk about the political economy, because everybody got to understand the relationship to their everyday life to the economy, and those who in power who dictate who gets what and how things are produced in terms of serving the
understand the political oppression, relationship to the economic ripoff. You understand?
Right. Yes, yes. So it's very important that we have this definition, because it's going to inspire us to do something. We made some very important points today. Before we tune out or turn off our program for this Wednesday, we ask that you share it. We got to get as many people involved. Let me try to bring in our brother again, Neo, to see if he has any closing remarks, because he did a great job.
I'm going to talk about George.
Brother Neo. Oh, I guess he's still not on. All right, brother, you could add your closing remarks.
Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties, brothers and sisters. Technology is a beautiful thing when it worked. The brother was able to, drop some science, you understand, before the technical thing, came down, and, we're going to get back with the brother. You will see him again. Okay. Just to emphasize the value of our political prisoner, I want to talk about a brother who became politicized while in prison. You understand? That this is a brother here, you understand, well known by many of us. You understand? This brother, you understand, his spirit, his soul was like a whirlwind. You understand what I'm saying? And we encourage you, brothers and sisters, to read this brother's book, Blood in My Eye. That's Comrade George Jackson. To read his book, Blood in My Eye. Many of us, as we do our time, we read this book, and you understand, it's like when you're reading this book laying on that bunk, it's like you float 4 or 5 feet up in the air. You understand? That's the power in this book. So we recommend that you brothers and sisters out there to get an appreciation of the political the political spirit, the warrior spirit in our political prisoners to read the book Blood in My Eye by Comrade George Jackson. So we got a poster here, and this particular poster, you understand, we use in regards to this this issue of gun violence in our community. Brother George spoke on that issue, and here's what he said. He said, settle your quarrels, come together, understand the reality of our situation, understand that fascism is already here, that people are dying who could be saved, that generations will live forever, butchered, have lives if you fail to act. Okay, so, like I said, read Blood in My Eye. If you want to be inspired, if you want to be filled with fire, you understand what I'm saying? If you want to feel the steel, the iron in a revolutionary, you understand, the inspiration of a revolutionary spirit, you understand, read that, you understand, and that will help us appreciate, you understand, the humanity that we are calling for the freedom for. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want to read just a couple of things from the broadcast last week that Sekou and the other comrades came with. A brother named Alvarez said that we got to have gratitude. You understand what I'm saying? We got to have, it's highly principled to have gratitude when somebody stands up for you. You understand? How can we be ungrateful and just forget about them, to disrespect them, you understand, and not move at all? So we got to be grateful for those who fought for us, Raza Khan said, do not be dependent on the system. Said that the one reason, the Pan African also said that people have been penalized for standing up for political prisoners. Like a brother named Van Jones, they moved on him for standing up for Mumia, and Brother Raza was saying that there's a type of dependence on the system, but revolutionaries are independent-minded, independent-spirited. You understand what I'm saying? So this is something we got to spread to our people. Be a scatterbrain, singing in the rain. Never feel the pain. Don't be scared of nothing. You understand? Stand up to this beast. You understand? Don't fear nothing. Don't be like a little scared, quiet mouse in the corner somewhere. They ain't got nothing to say. If you stamp your feet, he runs. You understand? No, be like a lion. Be out here bold and audacious, fighting for the freedom of our brothers and sisters. Talib Shakur, you understand? Matula Shakur's son said, we can't be down with this elder abuse. Just allowing our political prisoners to die in prison. You understand? We got many.
That's a good point. Elder abuse. Yes, yeah, that's very strong.
We got many of our political prisoners that got cancer right now. And Brother Sekou made the remark that it's very improbable that all these that cancer would hit so many unproportionately among political prisoners. I said before that in the science of probability is that the multiple incidences of a thing reduces the probability that it's just a coincidence. So it ain't no coincidence. We got political prisoners who have very, very serious illnesses right now, melanoma, cancers, COVID-19. You understand? So we can't allow our political prisoners to die in prison. And people, y'all got the power. You understand? The people got the power, as Chairman Fred said. Part of that indoctrination that Jihad talked about was that the white man is God, the white supremacy is God. There ain't nothing you can do about it. They do whatever they want to do, and ain't nothing you got to do about it. You got to be like a dog on a leash. Whatever he say, you hear and obey. Just blindly playing your role, whether it's decide whether you live or die, and men, mad to control. No, be control of your own life. Self-determination. You understand?
Yes.
That's where we come from.
In the spirit of Romaine Chips Fitzgerald, we continue to fight stronger for the freedom of our political prisoners. So we salute that brother.
Salute.
And we make sure that, his transition, his passing wasn't done in vain, right? We are inspired to continue to fight stronger to free our political prisoners. There's a saying by James Baldwin. It says, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced."
Right
So
on.
you understand that means that in order for us to free our political prisoners, we have to face that fact that
Right
there
on.
are political prisoners in the
Straight
United
ahead,
States.
straight ahead.
And it's up to us to get busy, to get involved. We provided you once again with the information. Now it's up to you to take a stand. If you're a parent, teach your children about political prisoners. Let them understand you have not acquired anything in life, whether it's sitting on a bus or going to a school, without the sacrifices of others.
That's
So
right.
we got to show
That's right.
appreciation by getting involved, by making sacrifices, making commitments.
Gratitude.
Right?
Gratitude.
Show gratitude.
Gratitude.
I know Coltrane, our field marshal, said you're accountable, right? He said, no,
responsibility.
When you're doing your work, you're being accountable.
Right.
And so we want everybody to be accountable for the freedom of our political prisoners. Yeah. And I think we covered everything.
Yep. Talib talked about responsibility too. You know, right. And again, we want to apologize to Neo. Like I say, these technical difficulties, but never leave heart, because you will see Neo again. We will continue this fight, and I always suspect when technical difficulties come about that the pig system has something to do with it, but we gonna win.
Exactly.
Still, whatever.
So, words from my brother, Killer Mike.
This idea, Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for it? Why kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name. Always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something, or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur, and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree, and we
to do this as well. And I have to give the credit to this idea of Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is.
What's the call?
Free them all.
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 What's the call?
Free them